Alright, let's write another discussion essay. This one is from IELTS Academic 15. As usual, we need to spend some time on the statement and instruction to understand them. Some people say that advertising is extremely successful at persuading us to buy things. Other people think that advertising is so common that we no longer pay attention to it. Discuss both these views and give your opinion. So clearly here we have two views. View 1, people who think advertising is very important, and people who think that it's no longer effective. So we need to discuss view 1 and view 2 and support them. So it means that we should say why people in view 1 hold that view and people in view 2 think like that. So we need to support both of them and give our opinion. We can say we agree with view 1 or view 2 or totally have a different opinion. Now it's time to decide. For view 1, I think people hold this view because companies use different techniques and strategies and are successful at persuading people. And also companies study the market and people so they know how to persuade people. For view 2, I think ads are everywhere and also they are repetitive and boring. Now, my view, I think they are very effective. So I support view 1. Now, it's time to paraphrase. This is my paraphrase. Opinions on the effectiveness of advertising are divided. Some argue that advertising is highly successful in convincing us to make purchases. Others believe that the pervasive nature of advertising has caused people to disregard it. Now, in order to complete my introduction, I want to add my opinion. However, I think it can considerably shape people's choices. In my first body paragraph, I will explain and support view 1. In the second one, I will support view 2. And finally, in my conclusion, I will summarize all the main points and restate my opinion. So in view 1, I said companies use different techniques and they study the market and people. On one hand, advertising is a powerful tool that can influence consumer behavior. Now I need to say how it happens. Companies use various advertising techniques to associate positive feelings with their product, which can create emotional connections between products and consumers' desires. Now, what is the result of this? Therefore, when shopping, people may decide under the effect of these strategies, even if they refuse it. Now, the second reason I said they study the market. Moreover, companies invest heavily in market research, which makes their advertising even more effective. Now, what is the result of it? It helps them understand and target their audiences more effectively via different platforms such as Instagram and YouTube. Now, the second view, we said ads are everywhere and also they are boring. However, so I start with however because I want to discuss view 2. However, constant exposure to advertisements can reduce their effectiveness. How? I need to explain. With the increasing use of smartphones, companies showcase their products and services in the virtual world abundantly. So what is the result of that? This overexposure leads people to ignore and skip these marketing strategies. Now the second one, we said they're boring. Moreover, the repetitive nature of advertisements and lack of creativity have further contributed to this decline in efficacy. Now I need to explain more. When consumers are repeatedly exposed to the same content, they're less likely to engage and more inclined to dismiss such uninteresting and unoriginal messages. Now I need to conclude. I will start with, in conclusion, restate my opinion, summarize view 1 and view 2. In conclusion, the impact of advertising on people is undeniable. Companies' investment in research and the use of various platforms and strategies to send their message can sway consumer behavior. So this is view 1. Now view 2. However, the overuse and oversaturation of advertisements may make them ineffective and people may tune out or actively avoid them altogether. And that was view 2. I wrote 259 words for this essay and I organized it in 4 paragraphs. In my introduction, I just paraphrased and answered the question. In my first body paragraph, I supported view 1. In the second one, I discussed and supported view 2. And in my conclusion, I summarized all the main points and restated my opinion. In this slide, you can find the points that gave cohesion to my writing. You could pause, take a screenshot, and have a read. And in the next 3 slides, you will find phrases and collocations from my writing that you could also use in yours. All right, hope you found it useful. Have a nice day.